Hey everybody, welcome to Board Game Heaven. In this episode, I'm going to do an unboxing of Black Rose Wars by Ludus Magnus Studio, along with the Chrono expansion. And as you can see, both are really big boxes. This one is extremely tall as well, very heavy, so there's a lot of stuff in there. So let's go ahead and open them up. Black Rose Wars, which is a giant box. It's really big, it barely fits into the frame, and as you can see, it's extremely tall. It is very, very tall. Has some nice artwork on all the sides, as you can see, and on the back there is a picture of the components of the game laid out with the miniatures, some close-ups of these miniatures, what the game's about, and that it's for 2 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, which plays in about an hour and a half, by Ludus Magnus Studio. Alright, let's open up the box. Okay, so first of all, there's the rule book. So it's the white book with a table of contents, overview of the components, and what they all mean and do. All the different cards that you have, the mages, the evocations, setup of the game, the moons and the black rose, game turn, so how you play a turn and the different phases that happen during your turn. Some examples, which is always handy. There's a section on the spell types, targets, damage and defeat, evocations, instabilities, cleanup, and the end of the game. There's a FAQ in the back and a glossary of all these icons and what they mean. And there's plenty of cool artwork as well. So that's the rule book. Then we have this dark brown book, which is the Codex Arcanum. So it tells you about all the different kinds of spells, the different schools that there are here. Oops, this wasn't correctly cut. All right. So you have all the different cards from all the different schools. I've got several pages of those. Well, I think I'll have to carefully cut those with my knife. So I'll just browse through this, because you get the idea. Some cool artwork here, painted miniatures. All right. Then we get some punch boards. So these are punch boards with several tokens and characters on them. They're all double-sided. Traps over there. Alright, so that's the first punch board. Here's another one with one of the, I think these are player boards, or at the end of the game, of the map that you build, you put this. Alright, so this is also double-sided. There's another one of these. Here's the event board. Alright, which is also double-sided. So we have 3 punch boards there. Then we have a really cool insert with a plastic lid. I'll just put this on the side for a bit. So let's see, does this have tape on it? No, I can just open that with the nice rose on that as well. So we have several baggies of these components, these translucent pips that you can use, and these cubes in the same color. So we have those in green, in yellow, in red, and in blue. Then we have several of these miniatures. So let's start by showing you this one. And these spots are reserved for the tokens that you punch. And here in the center, there's a spot for the Black Rose room. And something goes underneath here as well, which I have yet to discover. So I was going to show you one of these. And they are actually held in place quite nicely. So that's a pretty nice looking miniature, very detailed, lots of detail on the clothing and on the fan, if you can see that. That's pretty nice. Here you can see all the details on the cloth. So yeah, pretty nice. Has the logo on the bottom. Alright, so we have 3 of those in here in this tray. And we have several of these mages. So we have this woman here, kind of like a shaman or a fawn, because she does have hooves and a tail and horns. Looks like she's casting a spell. Nice dynamic pose. There's some fur on her cloak, and she has several items hanging from her belt. Nice. Alright, so that's the first one. Here's another guy. So he's got a staff or a scepter in front of him with lots of small things hanging from his belt as well, like a scroll and some trinkets and a lamp and a bag. That's pretty nice. Even the bases are already detailed, which I really like. There are cobblestones and roses. So that's pretty cool. Really like the look of these minis. Here's another one. There we go. And they're made from a hard plastic that doesn't really bend. And this mage is casting a spell. He's actually afloat, surrounded by these mists. And again, a pre-sculpted base, though you can't see a whole lot of it on this miniature. But it's pretty cool. And finally, in this tray, we have this 4th mage. There we go. So this sorceress looks like a necromancer because she has a staff with a part of a skeleton on it, a ribcage and a skull, which is pretty creepy. Really nice. And again, the sculpted base, billowing cloak, and she's got some skulls hanging from her belt. Yep, really nice. I think these are quite detailed, nice looking. So I'll just close this up for now. And then we'll take a look at the second tray. Some of the minis kind of got flipped around a bit during transport. But I guess these all go here. They fit nicely in there, so there we go. Here is another bag of black, dark gray, transparent cubes. That goes in here. So let's start with these guys. So we have these undead minions, and they have also a really cool pre-sculpted base, and they have these holes where you can put in the transparent pips. So it's a skeleton in heavy armor. Looks like conquistador-like armor, and a large sword. Yep, that looks really nicely detailed. Cool pose as well. So you get 4 of those in here, and if you press them down, they are kept in place rather nicely. These are a bit more loose, which is why they were... Oh, that's the same sculpt, I believe. Is that the exact same sculpt? Yes, it is. So we have 8 of those. So they actually go in here, and yes, that does secure them a bit better. Alright, I'll take a look at that later. So then we have this cool looking dude. So that is a sort of a big knight in a very elaborate armor with a wolf's head and a big mane as a helmet. He's got wolf's heads on his shoulders as well. Lots of detail. It's really cool. Look at all the plating in the armor here. That's nice. 2 big swords he's holding. He's got a bigger base That is also again sculpted with the cobblestones and the roses. It's very thematic. I really like that. So yeah, that's a pretty impressive miniature. It's also rather large. So there's 3 of those in the box. So let's see, what do we have here? We have 2 of these sculpts, 5 of each. So let's see what this is. So that is an angel holding up an orb, and she's kneeling on a pedestal, again on a sculpted base. And the other one over here, so if one is the angelic version, this looks like the demonic version. So a hooded figure with a well, with a bovine skull. If it focuses again on this one. All right. So I hope you can see that well. So that looks pretty cool as well. Some magic effects sculpted in. Okay. So there's 5 of each in this tray. And then finally we have this big guy, which also has 3 models in the same sculpt. So here's like this big demon warrior with these cool armor with the horns and everything, the spikes, holding a large scythe weapon. He's got a sword on his belt. He's got lots of stuff hanging from his belt and all the detail. I love that. Again, the big sculpted base. Really nice. The quality of these minis is very, very high. I love them. All right. So that's this tray. Then, again, back to the box, we have another tray, which I will try to take out carefully. It doesn't have any handholds, so that's a bit difficult. So I'm gonna try if I can do it like this. I'll just hold my hand here. There we go. All right, that seems like the safer way to do it. Okay, so this is the final tray. This does have tape on it, so I'll remove that, and then I can flip that open. Okay, I'll just take that off. Right. Okay, so we have the character boards here, and they're double layered, as you can see. So you have these spots where you can put all those cubes, and they won't slide. You have spots for everything for your cards. On the sides, there's spots for cards as well. Action tokens, trophies, destroyed rooms. So it tells you your hand size, your movement, your attack. And it's got nice artwork on it. And on the back, there's the artwork again without all the rest of the illustrations. That's pretty cool. So this was Rebecca, the Necromancer. This is Tessa, the fawn lady. So again, artwork with the same layout, with the slots there, and the artwork on the back. Cool. Here's Jafar. Also really nice. Big player boards. So you are going to need some room on your table for this. And here is Nero, the fire mage, the floating one. And here you can see the artwork a bit clearer. Yep, so we got those 4, which is nice. This one does have some damages I see here on the top. Don't know what happened to this. It looks like it's been cut improperly. All right. There's more miniatures in here. So we have 3 of these really big figures, even bigger than the other ones. Another demon of sorts. He's got very detailed armor. Look at the knees and everything, and the belt and the shoulders, the pauldrons, the gloves there, gauntlets, his big sword, and he's got his mouth open. He's like this big you know, screaming demon, and the horns are where his eyes, where you would expect to be his eyes. So big wings with lots of veins in there. Cool, really nice. Sculpted base. Okay, so 3 of those in the bottom tray. There's some space here for some of the items, which I will figure out. There's some cards in here, conspiracy cards, some text on the back. I'll leave that in the shrink for now. There's the rest of the tiles, so that's nice. They already come, you know, pre-punched and in their own slot. And there's quite a few of them, as you can see. It's a big stack of tiles, and they are all double layered, so you can put your cubes in there. Then we got 2 inserts, 2 slots here with a lot of cards, and as you can see, there's plenty of room left. So if you sleeve these, usually when sleeving cards, they become about twice their size, so there's plenty of room to store these sleeved. And I did get the sleeves with the package with the Kickstarter, so I am going to sleeve these. So yeah, there's just a whole lot of cards, and I'll sort through those later. So that's pretty cool. Some of these, you know, are double-sided like this, and you can use either side, and some of them just have them both in this direction. So yeah, so there's those packages, and you know, obviously all of them are different. And then here, the smaller cards, we have these magic block. So we have the Bone Knight. So these are the creature cards. We have more of these, so with the moon symbol on it. There's the half moon symbol. Another one. Yep. There's this again. Yep. So we have different sorts, different types of cards. And this one. All right. Yep. I'll just put those back. And that is everything that was in the core box of Black Rose Wars. Let's open up the Chronos box. So this is the Chrono expansion. So it's also a rather large box for Black Rose Wars Crono. There is the man himself. So on the back you can see the miniature, the Medusa miniature, some new tiles, a new character board, and some additional tiles for Chrono. Right, so let's open that up. Okay, so inside the box is the booklet for this expansion. So we've got the game components here, all the new cards and quests and stuff that come with this expansion, how you set up the game, this goes in the middle, how to play. So there we go, leaflet. Okay, so that's the rules for this expansion. Then on the top, well, it's basically the whole insert, so I'll see if I can take that off. Where is the tape? There is no tape. That just came off easily, so I'll just put this back since there is nothing underneath anyway. This is just one very deep insert with the Medusa character board, with, again, like we saw in the core game, these slots for your cards and your tokens, etc., and on the sides. And on the back there is the full artwork. So yeah, that's pretty nice. So things got shuffled up a bit here. There is a smaller token board. So there we go, for new room tokens, these tokens, that token. So yeah, this is the punch board. We have the Chrono action cards board. Again, double layered, so there are slots for cubes. Okay. There are some new rooms in here, so let's see what's here first. So we got some more cards. So we have this card, a myth card. Right, so there's one, and that goes here. Then we have a space for more cards. It's just one packet of cards, which I'm not gonna bore you with right now. These are here, and this fits in the bottom, even sleeved, and this fits on top, sleeved. I wonder why there is space in both directions. You can put them like this, but you can also put them like that. Maybe this is tighter when you don't sleeve them, and this is perhaps a bit wider if you do want to sleeve them. I have no idea. But in any case, this goes for the bottom ones as well, it seems. Yeah, that goes in there as well. Okay, so then we have a few new tiles. So we have this Revenge Room in the bottom. Now we have Hell's Door. And they are not double-sided. The ones in the core game were. So, yeah, we have these then. These 5 new tiles that you use with this expansion. So let's take a look at the minis. So we got, of course, Medusa here. So let's take a closer look at that. So there's her tail, and there's a lot of scales and nice detail on that, and another, you know, pre-sculpted base. It's very cool. So Medusa herself over there, her face is kind of hidden behind her staff. Maybe a little hot water treatment will allow me to bend it a bit out of the way of her face. But it's there. So you have the staff, her kind of like a helmet that she's wearing, or carapace. And in her left hand, she is holding, there's her hand, and she is holding this burning censer. So yeah, that's Medusa. Really nice. Big base as well. Bigger character. So how did she fit in here again? Well, I'll mess with that later. And of course, Chrono, who is a little bit tight in here. There we go. Oh man, he's heavy. He's a big fellow. So take a look at that. I'll see how close I can take this without getting too blurry. So he's got this, you know, kind of like metal helmet face plate. And here's the mage himself. So kind of like melded into this machine. He looks tortured actually. You know, his face is, it's like it's in agony. So that's pretty cool. And he's got these huge face plates on his knees and on his shoulders. Big mechanical, kind of like a steampunk automaton driven by Chrono there. A large staff with quite the blade at the back, which, you know, is almost as big as one of those miniatures. So that is really something. That is a huge miniature. Look at the ridges here. And all the detail. There's some chains here, some padding, these plates of metal, all the rivets and the, you know, the connections and everything. Really cool. Even the staff has a lot of detail in it. Looks like there's, you know, hands or something. Lots of, I'm not sure exactly what I'm seeing there. It looks organic in some way. So he's got this billowing cape hanging from his back with some, you know, artifacts, some tubes, some hands even on chains, tattered cape, and a huge sculpted base. That is a very good looking model. Nice. So that is Chrono. Okay, well, that covers everything that's in the expansion.
And so that was my unboxing of Black Rose Wars by Ludus Magnus Studio. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notifications whenever I upload a new video. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time on Board Game Heaven.